Bustards are one of the heaviest flying birds and they have no frontal vision. So when they fly, they do not expect barriers in the sky. And the modern power lines cause most of their deaths. As you can see, the bustard here has collided with the power line emanating from the windmills, which are the source of green energy. Considering the declining population of the great Indian bustard, the Ministry of Environment, Forests and Climate Change mandated the Wildlife Institute of India to commence a conservation breeding program as an insurance against total extinction of the bustard in the wild. We are going to take you through the conservation breeding facility set up at Some in the Desert National Park, a collaboration between the government of Rajasthan and the Wildlife Institute of India, and a temporary facility has been set up at the Some dunes. The old guard quarters at Some were transformed into a conservation breeding center with the help of the International Fund for Hobara Conservation. Scientists from IFHC Abu Dhabi helped us in designing it and setting the conservation center up at Some. The facility here includes an incubator for incubating eggs which are secured from the wild. Subsequently, there is a hatchery in which the newborn chicks are kept, fed up to the age of about 10 months to about a year. The live feed facility is also maintained here. The area is made totally predator proof so that rodents or other carnivores like dogs and foxes cannot access the eggs or the chicks, and we can rear them with utmost security. The process commences with the location of breeding females that are nesting, and this requires a lot of field effort. Our field teams are well equipped. We had trained experts from IFHC who assisted our teams in locating females on nests. The regular movement of females within a localized area and a center homing place allows us to determine whether the female is nesting or is just wandering around on our foraging trips. So our team was able to locate several nests, and with the permission of the government of Rajasthan, we were able to secure 7 eggs in this season and put them in the incubator for hatching. We have almost had 100% success rate till now, and there are 7 chicks which are born and reared in the conservation breeding sector at Some. Once the egg is collected, the transportation from the nest site to the center is done in a vehicle with a chamber which does not allow any jerks to be given to the egg. Once the egg is at the center, it is cleaned antiseptically, then it is weighed and it is candled to find out the stage of development of the embryo. After that, it is put in an incubator. The incubator is maintained at a constant temperature and humidity in such a manner that the egg loses moisture at a predetermined rate, which is set for the Arabian bustard standards by the International Fund for Hobara Foundation, who have been breeding these bustards for the last 20 years. Once the chick is ready to hatch, it starts pipping, and you can hear the sounds as well as the movement of the eggs, and it is moved to a different chamber, allowing it to hatch. It takes anywhere from a few hours to almost a day for the chick to actually emerge when the shell is pipped. And chick is hatched, it is left into a brooder, allowing it to get over the strain of hatching, and subsequently move to the hatchery where it is fed with live feed as well as staples which are developed for the Hobara bustard with a high protein diet, so its growth rate is maintained at the best optimal standards. Regularly the chick is weighed and its growth parameters recorded, and if it falls below or above the growth chart, then its diet is adjusted accordingly. For exercise, the chicks are allowed into a small open sand pit where till the age of about a week or so they exercise themselves, and subsequently they are taken out into the dimensions of the cage are about 20 meters by 20 meters, allowing the chicks to actually exercise their legs. Since most of these birds are long distance walkers, they need a lot of exercise for their limbs to develop well, and they are totally imprinted on humans, since this is the founding population which will remain in captivity for their lifetimes and be used for breeding purposes only. And the more habituated they are to humans, the easier it is to handle them for vaccination, for medication, for artificial insemination, or for extraction of sperm. And the process of habituation is by massaging the birds on a regular basis, getting them trained to human presence and human handling. and they imprint on humans quite easily, as you can see in some of these videos, the birds walking around with human beings as well as allowing close approach and handling. This is just the first mile in a 100-mile race for the conservation breeding program, and we have started with a very good success rate of having 6-7 chicks, which is incredible. But there are miles to go before we reach success, because it will depend on how well these chicks grow up, whether they breed in captivity, and once they breed, whether we are able to rehabilitate the second generation born out of these chicks and train them to live back in the wild. So it's a long drawn process, and we have to go in for a long haul, considering the project to last for anywhere between 20 to 25 years.